Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help. And King of Floors, your vinyl, laminate, and engineered flooring superstore.
Donnie and Dolly presented by King of Floors and Able Auctions. It is Tuesday. All of our guests today are sponsored by Skipper Auto, supporting Canadian fishing families through a revolutionary seafood buying experience. Check them out online at skipperauto.com. Nobody's come through yet into Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox with the name of that legendary sporting goods store.
Yeah, but it's in the 70s. I mean,
on
my
Pike
goodness.
in Seattle.
You're asking people to dig deep, back.
Yeah. I think it lasted into the 90s. I don't think Pat Morris will be able to help me out here. NHL agent Pat Morris joins us now. He's Jason Dickinson's agent. Of course, Jason recently acquired by the Canucks from the Dallas Stars. Pat, thanks so much for doing this. How are you, sir?
Hey, gentlemen, my pleasure. How are you guys doing?
Very well, very well. Your reaction to and your client's reaction to the move from Dallas to Vancouver?
You know what? I think Jason had some knowledge that something might happen in Dallas, just given a little bit of a cap crunch there, given their list. And Jim Neal was kind enough to let us know that he'd been talking to a number of teams about a trade for Jason's rights, not because he doesn't covet them or love them, but because of their situation and having to pay Heiskanen, et cetera. So in the end, they thought for the expansion draft, Jason was going to be vulnerable, and they ended up putting his name out there, and 6 teams were in a little bit of a race to try and acquire him, and in the end, Jim Benning was able to move ahead of the line and secure him. So Jason's very, very happy. I'm very happy. Travis Green's a heck of a coach, and I think he'll find a home for a long, long time, hopefully in Vancouver.
Pat, Jason is an RFA, last time I checked anyway. Where are you when it comes to contract negotiations with Jim Benning?
Jim Neal and Jim Benning had a discussion on Saturday, and Jim Benning requested the right to speak to us about a contract. So Jim Neal let me know that, and when Chris Gear and Jim called, we had a dialogue with them about, call it, parameters, lows and highs, and arbitration possibilities and negotiation possibilities. So obviously they've acquired him without a contract being done, but a discussion that was deep enough to get a sensibility of where it could go. There's still some work to be done. I think from our perspective, some work to be done, and we'll do that once everybody gets out of the level of where's everything on the expansion draft by tomorrow night, and then on to the draft on Friday and Saturday, and then free agency approaching. So we'll get to finalizing that when Vancouver's ready to do that, and we're ready when they're ready to continue the dialogue that we started.
Pat, you have a client named Mason McTavish, who's going to be a very high pick in the NHL draft this week. Interview by the Canucks. The Canucks like him a lot. Talk about Mason and your thoughts on where he could end up.
I think Mason's an elite selection for the 21 draft. Brings everything: size, strength, center. I don't know that the hockey world is seeing, like I have, his shot. Reminds me of Wendell Clark with its heaviness, and he can score from anywhere. And I think he's a great half-wall guy in a power play, and really for Team Canada. And when he played over in Switzerland, they parked his big body in front of the net to tip pucks and create screens and to retrieve pucks in the corner. So there's another element to the game that I don't know that everybody's seen. Tremendous leader. They had Zoom calls 3 weeks before Hockey Canada got together, and based on those Zoom calls, they created their leadership group and also established, I think we need somebody special to room with Connor Bedard at the age of 15, and who's the one to show the way, and that was McTavish, who roomed with Bedard. So I think if he's fortunate enough to get down to Vancouver's pick, and I'm not so sure that's going to happen. But if he was, they'd be crazy not to call his name. But that's not my choice. Those are other people around the NHL. He'd be a great, great selection for whoever's lucky enough to get him.
Hey, Pat, you also represent the captain of the Vancouver Canucks, Bo Horvat, whose contract's up in a couple of years. You know, when I watch Bo in the exit meetings when the year's over, I see a player that wants to win bad, Pat. It really wants to win bad. He's only had the one playoff success, and that was in the bubble in Edmonton. But your thoughts on Bo and where he's at with Vancouver right now?
You know what? I think he's very competitive, and he's been around long enough that he sees every year others winning the Stanley Cup, and that's what you play the game for. So he's very much looking forward to the team moving forward. That success with getting to within one game of eliminating Vegas creates a zest for how good a team can be when everybody's on. And he's not becoming impatient, but becoming impatient in the sense he wants to win and be in the playoffs every year. So he contributes as well as he can. He's got more to give. That's coming for sure. He's very passionate about the game and passionate about the city of Vancouver, and can't wait for the next season and trust he'll do everything he can to make that better for Vancouver.
We're talking with Pat Morris. Pat, you also represent Jacob Markstrom. I know there was an injury or two. How would you describe or characterize his first season with the Calgary Flames?
I think out of the chute, he was excellent. He
Yeah.
carried on from what he was in Vancouver. Then he decided to go big game hunting and hit an old teammate and friend for whatever reason that was or why that happened. You should leave the body checking to his defenseman, but there was a collision, caused some compromise to his neck, which created issues and put him back. And I think his game, he came back probably a little bit early, and his game suffered for longer than he would want, Cal would want, and then I think he finished very well. So, a lot of players in their first year of leaving a team that they've only known for a majority of their NHL career and going to a new team, there's an acclimation time period for virtually every player. You're going from goalie coach Clark to a new set of goalie coaches, et cetera. So you're feeling your way out, but I loved his start and I loved his finish, and he would have wanted it to be a little better in between. And I think Calgary's excited about his second season.
Hey, Pat, so much talk in Vancouver, and Jim Benning started the talk. He said he expected to execute a buyout or two, paraphrasing here in Vancouver. With that in mind, moving up to Edmonton, what's in James Neal's hockey future?
Last year, coming off the previous year of 19 goals, when COVID came in last year, started with James having some physical ailments and some medical issues. So probably the first 2 months were not real healthy for James. And then Edmonton was off and running and had a hard time getting in the lineup. When he got in the lineup, there was inconsistencies in him staying in it. So either potentially is there something at play with Seattle? That's for others to decide. If there's not, then that's up to Edmonton whether they carry on with him at 2 years at 5.75, not necessarily having the role that he had in the year that he got 19 goals, or looking to make a business decision on him, which has to be made by 26th or 27th of July.
Whatever happens with James Neal or Jason Dickinson, will Rick Dollywall be the first person you call, Pat?
No. Pat,
he's too busy following the comings and goings of Triamkin.
Oh,
yes.
Hey,
bang on.
And I owe Pat dinner, and the next time Pat's in Vancouver, we'll go to the Keg. I got to take him out. I've lost numerous bets on this Triamkin guy. I owe Sakaris dinner to. Thanks for reminding me that, Pat.
it's on my to-do list.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
So,
Pat, thanks for this. All the best.
yeah, you guys are the best, and congratulations, continued success on your show, and look forward to talking again.
Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it. Where was Pat yesterday when the boss was here?